Murphy as young Jesse James, Brian Donlevy as Quantrill, Marguerite Chapman as Quantrill's woman, Scott Brady, cruel, vicious, with Tony Curtis as Kip Dalton, Richard Long as Frank James, James Best as Cole Younger, and Richard Arlen in the wild adventure of men.
Really bad 1950s westerns. We all love westerns. It's undeniable that the impact this genre has had on us and cinema history has been significant in a positive way. Especially the 50s can be argued as the height of the western genre. However, as in any genre, it's also equally true that there have been some stinkers. This is what today's video will take a look at. Some of the westerns of the 1950s that didn't meet the grade. If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Like, share and subscribe. You know the drill. Let's get into it. The Fiend Who Walked the West, 1958. Director Gordon Douglas. A western based on the 1947 film noir, Kiss of Death. Almost a horror western. The story involves a psychotic ex-convict terrorizing his former cellmate and his family. Stars Hugh O'Brien, Robert Evans, Dolores Michaels, Linda Crystal, Stephen McNally, and Roy Eli.
All right, it's all over. Eat your lunch.
Oh, it's about 2 years ago and done something to my spine.
Yes, that's too bad. Why, you don't look like a woman who'd ever fall off a horse.
You're darn right. I didn't fall. I fainted. Had fainting spells ever since.
Well, I'm glad there's one honest person in the Finney family. You go outside, I'll see you there.
With a gun, old friend? Good.
The Naked Dawn, 1955. Director Edgar G. Ulm. A western about a poor but proud farmer named Manuel and his wife Maria. When glib-tongued drifter Santiago tries to get Manuel mixed up in a robbery, the farmer is at first resistant, but is goaded into joining Santiago. Corrupted by the prospect of untold wealth, Manuel begins plotting the murder of Santiago. Meanwhile, Maria makes plans to run off with the handsome stranger. Stars Arthur Kennedy, Peter St. John, Eugene Iglesias.
To some, he brought the excitement of high adventure and the corroding sickness of greed.
What about the future? If it isn't him, he'll be another like him. They're criminals.
Then kill him and steal his money, because you are respectable.
But to a woman hungry for love, he was free.
Seminole, 1953. Director Bud Botticher. A western starring Rock Hudson. Much of the film was shot in the Everglades National Park, Florida. The film depicts the Second Seminole War, 1835 to 1842. At Fort King, Florida, in 1835, Lieutenant Lance Caldwell is charged with the murder of a sentry. At his court-martial, he recounts the story of the fragile peace between the settlers and the native Seminole, and how that peace is threatened by the strict fort commander, Major Harlan Deegan, who wants to wipe out the natives, starring Rock Hudson, Barbara Hale, Anthony Quinn. Tribute to a Bad Man. Director Robert Wise. A western starring James Cagney about a rancher whose harsh enforcement of frontier justice alienates the woman he loves. Based on the short story Hangings for the Lucky by Jack Schaefer, the author of Shane. Rustlers steal horses belonging to wealthy Wyoming rancher Jeremy Roddock and shoot him. He is found by young cowboy Steve Miller, who digs out the bullets, saves Roddock's life, and is offered a job at the ranch. Starring James Cagney, Don Dubbins, Stephen McNally.
Do you want me to change?
Get up, get on your feet. Get up.
Good thinking, boy. Good thinking. But it ain't gonna get your horse.
My pa should have killed you 20 years ago.
He was a man completely confident, the master of all he surveyed. Except for one thing.
I want to go away. I want to make something of myself, but not without you.
No, Steve.
A man turns his back, they steal anything. A horse, a woman.
No one is stealing me. Horses, you know. But about human beings, you know nothing.
The Savage, 1952. Director George Marshall. A western that stars Charlton Heston. Much of The Savage was shot in the Black Hills of South Dakota, based on L.L. Foreman's novel The Renegade, first published in 1949 by Pocket Books. A young boy, Jim Ahern Jr., is the only survivor of a wagon train raid by Crow Indians. Sioux Indians rescue him. The chief, Yellow Eagle, raises him as a Sioux, renaming him War Bonnet. When Jim grows to maturity, his loyalties between his tribe and his white heritage are questioned. Gold is discovered in the Black Hills, and the Sioux expect their territorial sovereignty to be respected because of an earlier treaty. Starring Charlton Heston, Susan Morrow, Peter Hansen. The Beast of Hollow Mountain, 1956. Directors Edward Nazor, Ismael Rodriguez. A weird West horror film about an American rancher living in Mexico who discovers that his missing cattle are being preyed upon by a dinosaur. In southern Mexico at the turn of the 20th century, tales are told of cattle and farmers mysteriously disappearing. These events occur at a location called Hollow Mountain, where a curse is supposed to be residing. The mountain has never been explored, and the swamp at its base is said to claim the lives of anyone foolish enough to go to its banks.
To solve the secret of Hollow Mountain, hiding place of a monster spawned in the dawn of time. He dared to ride where no man had ever set foot before. Patricia Medina, the menace of the beast, stood between her and the man she loved.
I'm getting married tomorrow. I do not want to be a widow or the wife of a murderer on my wedding.
The Far Horizon, 1955. Director Rudolph Mattei. A western about the Lewis and Clark expedition, based on the 1943 novel Sacagawea of the Shoshones by Della Gould Emmons. The film is the only major American motion picture of the Lewis and Clark expedition, although there have been television documentaries on the subject. Many details are fictional and historically incorrect. Starring Charlton Heston, Fred McMurray, Donna Reed.
Fought for me and you have won. I belong to you now.
Their immortal romance, a glowing chapter in this imperishable saga.
The Painted Hills, 1951. Director Harold F. Kress. A western adapted by True Boardman from Alexander Hull's novel Shep of the Painted Hills. The film is a story about a collie named Shep, who seeks revenge after her master is murdered. The Painted Hills was the 7th and final MGM Lassie film release, starring Paul Kelly, Bruce Cowling.
A down-to-earth drama of all the Lassie pictures. This is Bruce Cowling speaking. I know you'll enjoy The Painted Hills.
You're right, he isn't. Oh, he's dead. You killed him. He's buried over there, and you killed him.
Shut up. Do you hear me? Shut up.
I won't. You killed him, and I'll tell everybody. Shit, help!
Kansas City Raiders, 1950. Director, Ray Enright. A western set during the American Civil War and involves Jesse James coming under the influence of William Quantrell. Jesse James and his friends, Brother Frank, brothers Cole and Jim Younger, plus Kit Dalton, arrive in Lawrence, Kansas, and are falsely accused of being members of Quantrell's Raiders. They are about to be lynched, but are saved by the intervention of a Union officer. Starring Audie Murphy, Brian Donlevy, Marguerite Chapman.
Starring Audie Murphy as young Jesse James, Brian Donlevy as Quantrill, Marguerite Chapman as Quantrill's woman, Scott Brady, cruel, vicious, with Tony Curtis as Kit Dalton, Richard Long as Frank James, James Best as Cole Younger, and Richard Arlen in the wild adventure of men who lived and loved as if every moment were their last.
No matter what you feel about him, he'll die at the end of a rope. And if you follow him, so will you.
Your men are shooting unarmed civilians. If you don't like the way we're fighting the war, Mr. James, tell Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson's dead. I just killed him. My men have you completely surrounded. We don't want any more killing than we can help. Better give yourself up before daylight or we'll come in after you.
Love Me Tender, 1956. Director, Robert D. Webb. A western introducing Elvis Presley in his acting debut. It was the only time in his acting career that he did not receive top billing, originally to be titled The Reno Brothers. But when advanced sales of Presley's Love Me Tender single passed 1 million, a first for a single, the film's title was changed to match. Love Me Tender was the first of 3 films in which he played an historical figure. The others were Frankie and Johnny, which takes place in the 1890s, and The Trouble with Girls, which takes place in 1927, starring Richard Egan, Deborah Paget, and Elvis Presley. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.